Hi, Shubs. Nice to meet you again.
Hey Alex, nice to meet you as well. How's it going?
It's fine. Looking forward with optimism, and I'm happy to see you again in this podcast. And I'm sure that we will have a nice theme to talk about.
Absolutely, likewise. Yeah, always. It was nice talking to you last time as well. So this time, let's see what we're going to talk about.
So, Shubs, what are we going to talk about? What is the theme of this podcast episode?
So healthcare,
Yeah.
and health, and maybe health tech as well. We can touch upon,
Yeah.
and the future of health, as we all are super close to like the way we are, like the way our health is. We're quite health conscious, isn't it, as a society? So I think health is a very interesting place.
Yeah, I think that not everybody thinks like you. Not everybody is aware, is conscious about his health, especially in younger years. That people take health for granted.
Yeah.
And I think that whenever like we have some years that we grow old, we lose health, it's natural. Like many people think like this. They think that it's genetics or that is society. This is how it works. Nothing can be done. Can be done about it.
Yep. Yeah. So, health-wise, so personal or professional first?
Just professional. Let's
Professional. Okay.
professional. Background.
So from a background, I've worked as a full stack developer for the last 7 years. And obviously, since healthcare is the theme here, I will touch upon my healthcare experience with working on the NHS app, which is the UK's largest organization that manages and organizes hospitals and various trust funds as well. And I've worked on the NHS app with IBM. So the NHS app in itself initially started from a COVID tracker, and now it's developing into various other features as well. Yeah, that's pretty much my and then just I've taken a natural curiosity towards working with health tech specifically. So I've always been very driven to understand how technology meets healthcare, because I see a lot of small issues. I see it I've gone through various to different appointments with my mum, with my auntie, my dad as well. I see even NHS being free here in the UK, it still has a lot of small issues, and that is because of course there's still a government body. But yeah, we can touch upon that more as we spoke.
Yeah, so it's actually maybe we could talk a little bit more about this because like my understanding, like let me share with you that my understanding that Ukrainians who left for Europe and for UK, they found that even though Ukrainian people have poorer life, that they don't have money as much, but healthcare is relatively good here because you can let's go to any doctor any day, or not any day. I can pay small money and I will be treated well. I will be treated well, and people are quite qualified. And my friends who live in United Kingdom, in Europe, they say that they have problem even finding the right doctor. Maybe that's because they're Ukrainians, but I think that they found out that even locals, they also have problems getting to the right doctor at the right time, with lines, and they can book only like next month, even though they need urgent help, like with flu, with like high temperature, but they need ambulance. But it's not ever easy to do this. Can you comment about this?
Yeah. So we've NHS has been in the UK for many years, and it's always been free. It's been a part of the welfare. But as we have, of course, just naturally overall in the world, the population has been growing. The system in itself, for various reasons, has not been able to match up to the demand, and it has not been able to provide speedy care to every single person. One of the biggest things is like triaging, for example. A lot of people that go to the A&E, which is the accident and emergency department here in the UK, which is the first step for them to be triaged. There's so many people going with flus, people going with cuts, people going with bruises, severe injuries as well. And everyone has to go through that line to get the care. But then it's very interesting because NHS also caters to the large operations. So my auntie recently went through a cancer treatment, which she also got a consultation privately done. But it turns out that because NHS is so large, they have the economies of scale. They have all the equipment and better equipment than the private companies to do those kind of operations. So even like there are the negative sides of it as well, there are the upsides of it as well. It is a spectrum. I still think that things can be improved. Way I see it, and I don't know why I've always seen it that way. I've always seen it from a technological perspective, where every time my mum suffers from some mental health issues, so she goes to the doctors. I've been with her to the doctors as well, and I've seen, you know, the doctors taking notes. They rotate a lot. They're not able to build a very quick rapport with the patients, because it's like a conveyor belt. If something happens, you go to the doctor, and it's all about speed for them. But even that is not an effective speed. It's just speed so that they can just quickly, you know, triage someone, give them some medication, give them some treatment, and then let them go home. Which is of course, it's a very difficult part, because someone who's elderly as well. For me, I can wait in the queues and stuff, but someone who's elderly, that's a very difficult position to be in. But yeah, I was talking about the rapport building. So a lot of doctors cannot build rapport with their patients, which is, I think, from a doctor's perspective, or not me, but just a doctor, they should be able to diagnose, but with empathy as well. And I think this is where technology takes place, where the admin part, the information handling part, could be handled by technology, and then the doctor becomes that much more personal with their patients and provides that closer touch. But yeah, I've got a couple of ideas, and I would love to continue sharing them.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing, Shubinder. I think that the questions and the time that the doctors pay to the patient, this slot of time, 20 minutes or 15 minutes, it's completely not enough to get to know the personal situation of the client, of his needs, his pains, his history of illness, his analysis. So it's completely wrong in my and I think that it's there is a lot of space for growth, for improvement in terms of, and AI can be like a game changer in this and all the technology, because I think that there should be some space, at least two ways of communicating with customer. One of them should be some device that checks all this blood pressure and glucose all the time, and then predicts and checks for cancer cells. We have technology close to this on the first stages. And another one, there should be some kind of constant communication with the client, how he feels on the daily basis. We ask some questions, and then when doctor sees the customer, he should see some report by AI, report about what happened in the last 90 days, all the answers that get from the organism and from the person. And another thing that I think is very important is, apart from asking about your symptoms, there should be questions about lifestyle. But what did you do? What do you eat? How do you sleep? And then what is your family situation? I think this is as important, maybe even more important sometimes, than having external symptoms. How do you comment this?
Yeah, absolutely. Recently, me and my mum, we went to this session set up by the NHS after she was diagnosed with diabetes, type 2 diabetes. Well, she's on the borderline, which is she's able to manage it, but I still was quite interested in taking her to the it was a class, so it was a whole day class. They went through lifestyle choices, understanding what to eat, what not to eat, what kind of foods there are in the market, understanding how the digestive system works, how the biological system works, how diabetes even forms. And I think lifestyle, that awareness is probably one of the biggest things when it comes to, health. I think health is something, it's very interesting because everyone is health conscious. Everyone, I come from an Indian background, so everyone, everyone's a doctor in the house. Everyone likes to mention, eat this, eat that. There's a lot of misinformation. And I think when it comes to awareness, a lot of people that, at least my family, that are not fully educated in terms of the English is not their first language, they tend to use, they started to use Facebook now. And I see that because my auntie, my mum, they've gone through these big diagnoses. They would use Facebook, Instagram to find relevant information, and it automatically, they just go down that rabbit hole and they find the health related videos that anyone's putting out there, and that that sort of adds to the misinformation. But I think working for the NHS on the NHS app, I've seen some I use the NHS app right now, where every time I go to the doctors, I receive my reports directly with any communication. This was not there before, right? This was not there 10 years ago. These classes weren't there 10 years ago. And I think to a certain extent, the adoption of Facebook and Instagram was not there 10 years ago as it is today. So I think awareness is probably one of the biggest things for someone to actually get to know their own health through, as you mentioned, the wearables. And that also leads to that direct connection between the doctor and the patient. So we need to build some form of bridge where the patient is more aware of something happens to them. If they have a symptom based on their lifestyle, they can then go to the doctor and they're aware of when they have a problem, or so like for me in my situation, I've seen those examples and I've started to make active lifestyle changes, which are not going to lead me to, well, I'm not saying they're not going to lead, I can't stop that, right? But I can try to mitigate myself from becoming ill, very ill. So I'm trying to stay fit, try to, keep on top of activity. And obviously we work from home as well these days. So we live very sedentary lives. So our bodies are not moving enough. So it's very important. So when I get stressed, I go for a jog and that clears my mind out. So yeah, as you mentioned, lifestyle awareness and the role of technology is very important.
Let me share one thing that's important that I found out recently. There is some theory that there was a change in mindset of the society due to Carnegie and Rockefeller Union, that were the richest people on the earth in the 30s, I think in the 30s of last century. And they started to propagate the view that the responsibility of health is not yours. You can do whatever you want. There is a pill for everything. You can go at this doctor, or this pill. Medicine is advancing. Do whatever you like. It even went to 70s and 80s. So that even in 80s there was a symposium of famous surgeons and scientists, and there are people speaking that we recommend everyone to eat as much sugar as they want. Sugar, and then you can be without limit. Some people have diabetes, but it's not your fault. We have solution for this. We have insulin. Some people will get diabetes. This is inevitable, but you can do this. And there was different animals. First, it was the whole animals enemy was fat. Like everything was without fat. And you know what they when the enemy was fat, what they invented. The solution for this is I don't know, this margarine, how it is called, this artificial
sweetness,
butter, artificial butter, margarine. How this
margarine, yes, margarine.
Margarine. So they saw this a solution for all, but they found that the source of most illness, this margarine. So they found out this, and sometimes in the past people were treated with lead metal. So lead metal, then margarine, and even Warren Buffett, for most of his life, he spent in McDonald's, and he invited Bill Gates. Bill Gates was like his son. I read biography of Warren Buffett, and Bill Gates was his close partner and like a son for him. And Warren Buffett invited Bill Gates to McDonald's. He even had McDonald's diet, special diet. His diet wanted to lose weight. He eat one hamburger per day and some cola. So he just calculated the calories, and this was advised to him by his doctors, by the best doctors of the world. His advice to the wealthiest person of the world to drink only cola and to eat only hamburgers. So you see how this changes, and I think that now we come to a society where there's a lot of information, and people get to know more and more about what is the reason of the illness. And so what do you think? Responsibility, is it to what's health? Is it person that should have the responsibility, or there should be some governmental institution that enforce the healthy lifestyle to its citizens?
That's a very interesting point. So I think when working the NHS app, it was almost, there were ideas that, by enforcing a healthy lifestyle where you have a wearable and you have an app to track your activities, the amount of food you're eating, everything. We are doing this voluntarily, but when you have people, you enforce it on people, is it almost like, Big Brother, where you're able to track everything a person's doing? I think there are ethical questions there. When it comes to responsibility, I think it's a massive societal responsibility. I want to lean in with the advertisement space. I think with a lot of advertisement puts out a lot of models out there, a lot of you should eat this, and it's the feeling that they sell. They don't sell the food itself. McDonald's sells a feel, and every other pizza, Domino's, they sell a feeling of, when they sell the culture. So every advertisement is when everyone gets together, it's a social cheat day, and everyone eats food together, which is of course many cultures have had that, and that's what human beings do, right? They to survive, they need the sugars, it's a survival instinct within us, and we enjoy it. So we go for the sort of the sugary stuff. But I think when it comes to, obesity, and I've gone through that part where I would eat out of stress. Before it was, back in the days, I lived in India, so we didn't have the choice that we have today. When I was young, I don't remember eating KFC. I don't remember eating, even though they were slowly coming into India. Even though I was born in the UK, I was living in India. I was away from the Western society. I was eating a healthy diet at home because that's what was sort of the norm, not the fried chicken, not all of that. But when I came back to the UK, I think there were points where it's the instant gratification. You seek instant gratification from food, from sugary stuff, from eating KFC, Domino's, and it becomes a domino within your own friend circle, family circle. I see my family do it as well whenever they're stressed. It's like they have worked themselves out and they are stressed out, and then they'll eat sugary stuff. So I think it's an awareness of fixing those things, or at least trying to build some form of goals. I think this is probably a bit of a philosophical journey. It is a long-term journey to make those instant gratification, the low-hanging fruit. I think having a long-term vision is quite important, so that when you have that long-term vision, for example, and you don't want to go down a route where you possibly could get cancer, and you want to be able to maintain your health, the mind-body connection as well, because whatever you eat is how you feel afterwards as well. So that's a constant cycle. If you eat very heavy food, that's going to contribute to a stress. But when you wake up, your body's not able to digest it, and then it inevitably takes you down a path where you just reach out for that tasty thing, but it's not really good for your body. I think, again, discipline is difficult. It's not the most easiest thing, but I think I went to this class and the advice was simple, right? Don't eat it. That was it. We always try to find new ways to like stay away. There's the sweeteners, there's low calorie chicken wings. There's always alternatives, but that's just another alternative for another avatar to sell to. I think rather just know yourself. That's probably one of the things. Know your lifestyle. That helps combat the advertisement, because you are responsible, and then becoming aware of your lifestyle, the food that you put in, the things that you read as well. That's also a diet, information diet as well, because the people that you surround yourself with, that's another thing too. Making those small changes, or in the long run, will just start giving you the rewards that you should eat, like good food, because the reward is that you won't get cancer, you won't get the negative effects of things. But I mean, as human beings, we do like to indulge. I'm still trying to figure that part out, but at least I think I can speak for myself. These are the things that I am doing, becoming more aware, surrounding myself with people that are like-minded as well, that can help me in that journey. When I do break, I'm not just reaching out for Haribos, I'm not reaching out for the sugary stuff, I'm reaching out for healthy. And also changing your environment too. Well, rather than having your fridge full of soda and biscuits in the cabinet, have like healthy snacks. So I think, yeah, shopping as well. But again, it's difficult when you go to the shop and then all the sugary stuff is in front of you. Like here in the UK, there's vapes that are just everywhere. They're readily available, so they attract a lot more people to it. So yeah, there's that capitalism fight, isn't it? Advertisement, profits versus the betterment of the entire society. It's a constant struggle, but I think going inwards as an individual helps. It is becoming more aware.
Thank you for sharing this.
Okay.
That's the important thing that you mentioned about the discipline, and also that different cultures, like in India, different culture, and in the Kingdom, and there are a lot of things you don't even you are not aware of what happens. You just eat it automatically. So it can be. I think that the government and the society, the system of health, can make an impact on the health if the accent, if they don't put so much value on the commercial side of the food, because when bad food is sold, it brings more money to the country. It helps with economics.
Yeah.
But healthy foods, you cannot earn much from broccoli.
Yeah, you can.
That's why it's important. It's very important thing is that if good food is placed strategically in best places in the supermarkets, and there was experiment when even they put sweet soda away from where people unite, and they put clear water there, then people started using more water, twice as much. Because it was more available. So I think the responsibility of the system is to make it first more available.
Yeah.
And bad food less available and more expensive, like cigarettes, more expensive, alcohol, more expensive, sweet soda, more expensive.
Yeah.
It means this way people will think more about it, whether it's worth their money to buy expensive things. Another thing is in the power of habits. There was a book about habits. In this book, there is a story about some situation, I think it's in Iraq, where there was some war situation, some fights, some gunshots every day. There was some rebellions every day on the main square of one city. And then the psychologists, they look at this from the cameras, and they found out that the people start talking, and there are a lot of bars, a lot of food. So they start eating, they start drinking beer, and then they start fighting, and then they start demolishing government institutions. But what they did, they put all the bars away from the square. They put the bars 1 kilometer, the first bar, 1 kilometer or half kilometer from the square, and people didn't have anything to eat, anything to drink, and they didn't fight. All this rebellion, all this fighting, they went to stop because it was more difficult. So I think one thing is to do this. Another thing is to make the heroes healthy people. So when people see that their hero, like it was in the 60s of 19th century, that all the heroes, they smoke cigarettes and with nice girls and with cigarettes. Even one of the Harrison Ford, there was some famous actor that was there. And so he was in good form, and they asked him whether he trains, whether he goes to the gym. He says, no, it's just natural that my life, this is my style of my body. So it was not accepted that people should go to the gym.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, his idea was also to change this mentality, because everybody thinks that this bodybuilding and this going to the gym is a bad idea. It's not natural, and you should just do your work and drink and whatever happens.
Yeah.
So there should be some understanding, education,
Yeah.
and strategical placement of foods and good bad foods in the right places. What do you think?
Yeah. I see that's 100%. I think I remember when I was young, my family talking about, someone who was in very good shape, who was an actor. They were always talking about this person, being an actor is not easy because you have to give up certain types of food, you have to work out X amount of times, and that was seen as like a negative thing. And so I remember, it was giving up a certain type of food was seen as a very, like, I can't do that. My family would say I would never be able to give up this food. So it's like a way to say, I'm never gonna go down that path. So why even entertain a gym, entertain healthy food. But then when they got older, when I got older and they got older to the point, and then they started telling me, I wish I knew the impact, the mistakes I've made. They will mention, my aunties will make, my dad, my mom mentioned that I wish I made certain changes earlier on so that I didn't get to this spot, right? And it's a massive eye opener, because I think you see behavior change generation to generation, for the good or for the worse. Of course, we are changing in many different ways. We are evolving in different ways. We have access to more information these days. But I definitely see a change all over. I've gone to India, here in the UK as well. There's a lot more gyms open. There's a lot more people attending the gyms. I think that social, obviously, it should come from a path where, or at least a mindset where it's not because you're looking at someone who has a very good body on Instagram. I mean, it should come up as an inspiration that you want to get there. But I think it's not the end result, but the road to the end result should also become more clearer. What do I mean by that? Anything that I've done in my life, like becoming a developer, becoming more healthier, I saw them as very big things for me. It was an identity shift. I didn't see myself or my identity in that new place at that time. So I didn't know how to get there. I just always saw the disparity between myself and that new identity that I was inspired by. But I've slowly realized that, if you've come onto this earth, you have time to at least make changes and active practice towards this new identity. So if you want to get more fit, having a good reason, not just because someone has a good body on Instagram, but having a good reason of being healthy, and then just turning it into a lifestyle. It's not like I go gym. It's just I go gym. I'm not trying to big it up, or I'm not trying to say, oh, it's really crap to go gym. I just go gym. I just do the thing. And eventually I will, become a person that I'm in very good shape. Same with development, like coding. I just do coding every single day. There are crappy days. You don't have the best days, but that's part of the repetition. And I think it's the boring. It's not something that sells. You can sell a very beautiful picture to someone, but if you try to sell the process to someone and say, this is what went behind painting this beautiful pictures, not many people will buy that, which is, it's an lack of information, which obviously us human beings take time to download information to our brains, because that's why kids are more impressionable, right? When kids, they look at fancy cars, they look at Instagram, they get quickly like, wow, they're so flashy, colors look very pretty to kids. But then as you get older, your brain is like a computer, you get more and more information. So it's about collecting the right pieces of information as well, having that information diet, and then following and just continue doing the thing that's important. So I think just tying back technology into whatever we're saying, I think where AI is very crucial as a step, as a next step, where we're trying to go. And this we've discussed the problems and we've discussed the ideal state. I think AI could be an enabler, or it could be a disabler. I think this is why AI is something that we should understand very deeply, because it's here to stay. It's not going to change. It's not going to go away. It's either the bigger companies or someone who wants to sell their product to you using AI would do that, and then advertisement will go out the roof, and they'll find very peculiar ways to actually target you, where back in the days advertisement was targeted using billboards or flyers. Now AI has a lot of information based on your digital footprint to actually hyper target you and then sell you the bad stuff. And then the thing is, it's easier to go down that path. But alongside someone advertising that, I think learning how AI can actually enable us, so how our data is used for our own good, for our own advantage, like having AI to profile our lifestyles, having AI to profile, like that community. We've gone from small tribes into this globalized world, and everyone's trying to find their tribe. Everyone's trying to find their community by joining something, by joining classes. And I think that in itself is a problem, because people become more isolated because they don't know where they belong. But I think AI, and I'm very optimistic about that. I don't know how that's going to unravel in the future, but I think being optimistic helps, because then you can think about solutions. But moving forward, I think AI could help you with the resource allocation for yourself. So just like ChatGPT, it will only present the information that you ask it. It's not giving you, it's not like you're on Google and then it's giving you 10 adverts and then your mind has to make a decision between which link to choose, and then the adverts are always placed at the top, so you ended up clicking that. Or if you're on YouTube, you just go on YouTube and you want to find something, and then you end up seeing some advert, and the algorithms are built that way so that they get you into that loop. But I think AI should be self-serving, where AI is only solving that one problem that you have in that moment, and it only solves that one problem. It doesn't give you more solutions, and then you think that you have to become fit, rich. You need to have it's I think advertisement shows you that the lack of things that you have. As I think we touched on Maya last time, right? The Maya of things from Bhagavad Gita talks about how there's so many different ways of living, and everyone says my way of living is correct, but I think just find what it works for you. Find your own tribe, find your own way of living, the things that you can eat that is going to help you, and then develop that long-term goal. And I think AI can definitely help in that direction.
Yeah, thank you, Shubinder. So you touched so many great concepts that are worth considering. And I wanted to share also the book I prepared for today. It's a book by Peter Thiel. It's called Outlive. And the idea of this book is clearly defined in this graph.
Yep.
Where there is one. This is the lifespan of a person without any medicine. It goes like this: a person lives to a certain point of life, and then he is weakened like every year for the last 5 to 10 years, and it's called marginal decade by Peter Thiel.
Right. Okay.
The last 10 years is worse and worse and worse for a person. It goes like this. And he says that modern medicine makes our life only because many illness is not yet conquered. Like you mentioned, diabetes, cancer, and dementia, and heart diseases is the champion of the killers. So now the medicine, they invented some pills and some medicine to make life a little bit better and a little bit better on the matter of health. But for the last years, even though people can live a little bit longer, their health is yet not optimal. So the last 10 years is this. This one is last 10 marginal decade, when they are on pills, their medicine, and some artificial things. And he said that the perfect way of living is to keep your health as much as possible to your 90s. So it is your 90, 100 years. And he introduces the concept of centenary decathlon, where you're preparing for being in the Olympics game in your 100th birthday. I think this is goal.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
So, and he lists a number of exercises you'll be able to do on your 100th birthday, like going to the 5th floor without help of anyone, like traveling without help, lifting some bags, or opening the bottle with your hands, or preparing food for yourself, or even having sex. You mentioned even that. So the person with 100 years, he can even have sex, That's a very interesting concept. So it means that we expand our horizon, expand our range of thinking towards not only next year, next day, but you think about how I will feel 10 years from now. So you look at your state of your muscles, of your bones, of your metabolic health. And he puts special importance to metabolic health, how your energy, how your metabolism, how you accept food, how digested, how glucose is generated by your body, glucose, and it puts into the muscle. So all these mechanisms are very important to the overall. And also CO2 max. He mentioned CO2 max and different kind of tests or exercises. How it also the grip strength. He says that grip strength and the health of your gums are very predictive to your lifespan. So you can see that somebody is weak, his hands is weak, so he has 3 times more chance of dying from heart attack than somebody with a strong hand. That is very, very interesting point. And so another one, he mentions 5 dimensions of activities which are strategic to your health plan. He insists to consider health span more than lifespan, to be as healthy as possible, and maybe to die like quickly and without much pain, like in 1 month or a few days.
Yeah.
People who live more than 100 years, they're usually more healthy in 90s. So they're more healthy in their 90s than people who live usual people in 70s. And it's predictable of good health span 5 areas. One area is your metabolism, which depends on your CO2 max test, and you can do better with muscle training and regular running, interval training, and working in zone 2. Zone 2 is when you jog or when you run in the speed that you can talk, not easily, but a little bit heavily, but you can speak. But then you can use some exercises for stability. Your legs are very important. The strength of your legs are very important. Your stability, because people over 65, if they fall and they make an injury, it's like more than 50% chance that will die within 1 year if they make the bone here.
Yeah.
The statistics. And then, so the physical dimension. Another one is what you eat, and he recommends calorie restriction, interval fasting.
Yeah.
But he didn't put much weight into this, but he says that also you need to balance your eating and to restrict either in time or in type of food that you choose, or the portions where you take a little bit less food each time. So then the next one is your quality of your sleep, and the next is the quality of your emotional life. The last one is what you take special like vitamins. So recommends, he has one vitamin who is called the pills of longevity, rapamycin, that was discovered in some Eastern island in the ocean, which he says that he's like magical pill, but not for cure all, but it helps on the mice, on different animals. So he recommends testing metformin, like for diabetes, but even for healthy people, and also rapamycin, which is used in surgery for transplants. So he said that he takes only small, very small portions of this, but he thinks that it helps in your health span.
Yeah,
that's
amazing. Just adding to that, we're talking about books. There's a book called Ikigai as well. It touches on the longevity of a person. There's the island in Japan that people are known to live over the age of 100, and of course the food, the type of things they eat, and the exercise. You know, one of the biggest things that they talk about is that they still keep on working till the day they die. They still keep on working towards, and I think it touches on having, you mentioned about, you know, a person going like training up into the age of 100 and still training like they're training for Olympics. It's a very interesting thing. I think nature has this baked into us where when we have problems, and when I say problems, it's like a problem that you're trying to solve. Either you're trying to, do your exams, do something for work, become a developer, or if it's being an Olympian, it's a problem that your body and your mind has to come together to actually figure out how to win that problem, how to overcome that problem. And in that way, the body, the nature of us comes together to make us stronger. The anti-fragility, right? It makes us anti-fragile to actually get to the point where we can actually figure out and solve that problem. And these people in Japan, they keep on working. They have a hobby, they have a work, and they keep on working to the day they die naturally. And I think that kind of also comes into the mental health space and the food space and the lifestyle space, where do what you love doing, where you can achieve flow states and find how that flow state and what you're providing is valuable to the society. That's another circle. And those things help massively towards enriching your life as well, but you're also enriching a community life. End of the day, we're social beings. So I think, being isolated from anything never helps. That's only going to add. So I think in order for us to actually fix the health, I think we need to build better relationships and actually have more of a community feel. I think, as I said, AI could help with that community building. We just need to continue looking for the answers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think that you mentioned the Ikigai is important, very important concept of one's mission that one has, and you maybe mentioned the island of Okinawa in Japan, where this is the blue zone that was mentioned by Dan Buettner in his documentary Blue Zones, which I recommend to everyone. And also the book you mentioned, The State of Law, which is by Hungarian psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. It's also one of my favorite books. So we touched a lot of nice things. I'm happy that we had this talk today about a lot of health issues, and I think we are not finished with that. We can continue.
Absolutely.
So thank you for this podcast. I think we did it all. We talked a lot today, and it will be useful for many people.
Absolutely. Thank you for Alex for having me. And these are lifelong questions and answers that we're going to continue having. So yeah, love to chat and then share ideas.